So I do believe this is one of those videos that need to be made, especially when we have another hurricane heading into Florida. So a video was made by Congressman Wesley Hunt. Check this out.
Some Republicans are claiming that money set aside by Congress for disaster relief is instead going to migrants. But the White House and FEMA saying that is just not true.
I mean, it's just categorically false. It is not true. It is a false statement.
FEMA says that money that was appropriated for Helene victims, they are not getting because instead that money is going to migrants. FEMA says that is not happening.
The White House pushing back against those allegations, releasing a statement that says this, quote, "This is false. The Disaster Relief Fund is specifically appropriated by Congress to..."
FEMA spent all the hurricane relief money on immigrants. It's a lie.
It's on Donald Trump supporters to not just swallow his lies whole.
To put falsehoods aside, like the idea that FEMA funds are being redirected to migrants, which is just not true.
Funding is also available through FEMA's Emergency Food and Shelter Program to support humanitarian relief for migrants.
Also announced a competitive process for the second tranche of funds under the Shelter and Services Program. We are very focused on getting the dollars out the door as quickly as possible.
So now the White House says that for those cities that they know are receiving an influx of migrants, there is somebody from FEMA, that federal emergency management agency, ready and willing to really help those cities when it comes to management of these influx of migrants, including reimbursing some of those cities.
The federal government is sending money to cities and states caring for migrants. $1.1 million, $30 million, $8.6 million, $128 million.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the tolerant and honest left, gaslighting American citizens and its voter base. Now remember, it was a humanitarian effort to help those poor displaced migrants when they really needed it, right? But now that they see it was never in the American people's best interest for these humanitarian efforts for housing, clothing, feeding illegal migrants. Oh no, that never happened, right? The problem is there's receipts. What are you talking about? Of course we didn't spend $1.4 billion on housing, feeding, and clothing illegal immigrants into the country. Do you actually know what the definition of gaslighting is? Because it falls into the same category as brainwashing. Gaslighting is to manipulate someone using psychological methods into questioning their own sanity or powers of reasoning. See, the one thing I can always say that the left is very good at is their messaging, their brainwashing tactics, and the way that they gaslight their voter base. But you don't have to take my word for it. There's actually an MSNBC producer that was just caught up by James O'Keefe, one of our favorite investigative reporters. His name is Basil Hamden. You can actually go to James O'Keefe's page and look up the entire hot mic, in which Mr. Hamden said they've made their viewers dumber over the years. And that is what I've tried to explain to people for years. Once you break the coding, you see it so much easier. At one time in my life, I really thought Democrats were for the people. Once I was able to escape off the Democratic plantation and realize what they were really doing, I tried to get others to come off of that plantation with me. But like Mark Twain said, it is easier to trick a person than to convince them they've been tricked. Now, don't misunderstand. Republicans want power too. But I can say the Republicans encompass my American values more than the left, who seem to hate America. It's actually funny to scroll through certain apps and you'll see people on the left trying to debate who is more patriotic, the left or the right. I'm going to say it like this. You don't see a lot of people on the right willing to burn American flags. You don't see a lot of people on the right talking about how terrible America is. Most people on the right realize that America isn't perfect, but it's one of those things that we're willing to work on it, as opposed to just burn the whole thing down and restart. But really, I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know. Also, if you don't care, like, follow, and share. See you in the next one. Peace.